Hey, hey. Hi, guys. Welcome back. All right. So I thought I'd do something a little unusual, a little bit different. In one of the first videos that I posted today, I said if you guys had a topic that you would like storytelling on, you could jot that down. And several of you did. And so I'm going to cover each of those, but I thought I'd leave it open also in the chat, at least for a little bit. If there's to make this a truly collective experience, if there is a topic that you have in mind that you'd like a card or two pulled for, keep in mind it is collective, so broader. So it's not going to be, questions like, is this person or that person by name, returning to me. It would be more broad sense. But if there is a storytelling topic that you would like, you can jot that down into the chat. If I can get to it, I will. But let's go ahead and begin. And we're just going to go ahead. And these are such great suggestions. And I was like, oh, that's awesome. So I'll just pull a couple cards for each of these and let you guys know who came up with which topic. So Teresa Zemba asked, what guide is closest now? So I'm going to shift that just a little bit and say, what guide is overseeing a character's journey at the moment? And we have a page of coins. This could be an ancestor for sure, considering that we have like an energy guide of like curiosity, of learning. This is like a guide that is helping someone's inner child move forward. So this could be a guide associated with an essence of creativity. This could be a family member that was very creative, maybe an ancestor that was a writer, a poet, a voracious reader, somebody that did a little bit of like theater production. But in this case, we have a feminine. This could be a guide that comes, in with like a spiritual energy, even if we knew them as a grandmother or never knew them at all. This could be a guide who in their own youth, they captured the essence of, childish wonder and creativity, which to me would say, then what is the message that a guide like that might be urging or giving counsel on? So let's take a quick peek here and say, if we have a guide that kind of deals with the energy of the inner child, and they themselves represent curiosity and interest and putting energy into the things that we're curious about, their message is a 9 of Pentacles in the reverse, combined with the universe, which is the world card in any other deck, and combined with the 5 of coins. Now, hang on, because I have to say, every time I've been so amazed by this. So every time this card comes up, I'm always chuckling, because this that we see smack dab in the middle, I have only owned this deck for about a month, but for about 5 years, I've owned the item that is actually depicted right here. It is a music box that actually lights up and plays a little tune. I'm not going to turn it on right now, but lights come up in it, and it's a zodiac music box. And I bought it initially because of the zodiac, but also because ancient Greece is depicted here, and we've got the divine here, and we've got what I consider probably is like the Oracle of Delphi or something off to the side, but all of these are like encrusted with all the zodiacs. So I've owned this for a really long time, and then just about a month ago, I found this deck. Did not know this was going to be contained within the deck, and I just have always chuckled about it. I'll tag that product for you if you want to see it more up close and stuff as soon as I'm done with this live. But to return to our story, sorry, but I just say all the zodiacs are encompassed on that. The divine is encompassed there. The idea of music, the idea of light, the idea of, ancient wisdom is here. So very perfect for the concept of guides. But the message from the guide or the ancestor that seems to be tasked with helping a character in their inner child and their curiosity on their journey, it says, hey, check yourself, darling, because if the guide is aware that our character is missing out on fun, they're missing out on wish fulfillment, right? That's what that 9 of Cups was. 9 of Cups should be joyful energy. It feels like our character's life has been a little bit depleted of joyful energy lately. And with that in mind, our character can make that change. They just haven't yet. So it kind of hints that, and even here we do have like a little bit of a kind of a country style chapel. And it makes me think that maybe a character needs to get a little bit more in touch with their inner divine, or maybe, through play, through fun, through activities that would be joyful. That might be where our character would have a greater connection to the divine. It's like the divine didn't give us life and give us this amazing planet with all the different, plants and animals and wonders and different sunsets and all of these amazing things, a feast for our senses, from the different smells that flowers have to the different flavors of fruits and, delicious foods to the different beautiful colors that we see all around us. All that variety and all that beauty and all that yumminess is there, and it's enjoyable. So if it's been a while since our character enjoyed themselves, if they were to let themselves perhaps seek more joy, change something in their life so that they can maybe broaden and expand and have a little bit more fun, that might actually be a wonderful way to like honor this divine life that they've been given. So it just kind of says that maybe the thing that our character is missing is not that they have to find a way to necessarily go and like, sit in a chapel and pray, although they might choose to, but this actually says the door is open. So it's like, go outside and run about and enjoy life a little bit more and find happiness again. And the divine would like smile upon that. Now they might do both things. They might choose to go inside. Again, the door is open. The divine didn't block this character out is the message. This is very timely because we do have snowflakes here in the sky. There's also the promise that the flowers come back again, right? So even if it's cold right now, maybe find indoor fun things to do, but springtime comes back and things will blossom again, whatever season this character is in. It just says that they're missing out on some fun, and it's not because the divine wants them to. I love that message. That was actually a great one. Absolutely great. Teresa, thanks for such a great concept, such a great suggestion. All right, so let me go to the next one, which is RT asked, what is ending and what is beginning? So let's take a quick peek there. What would be the message on this? Remember, these are fictional stories. I'm not predicting people's lives or anything like that. This is just in the broad sense, what awesome concepts are there. So what is ending? We've got the Temperance in the reverse. That's nice. If something is ending, we want it to be crazy, busy, difficult stuff. That is difficulties, stress, discombobulated energy, having to fight every single day just to try to move forward an inch, having conflict with somebody, having discord with somebody, possibly a strong Sag energy just because we stuck with the wand energy. So what is ending is that conflict mentality, or sometimes we create more conflict if we go, okay, I'm going to approach everything like it's a battle and I got to fight. Sometimes if we don't approach it with that mindset that this is going to be hard, this is going to be tough, and it's going to be miserable, then maybe things flow better. Okay, hang on. Actually, I want to change decks for, if that's what's ending, let's ask what is beginning. High Priestess, a time frame of listening to intuition so things flow a little bit better. Hearing the trickle of the water of the energetic, stream of life, and just hopping on our little inner tube and floating with the stream of energy, going with what we sense. That could reduce conflict too. If what's starting, by the way, somebody could also be starting reading late at night, reading a book. This could be somebody who's ready to spend a little bit more of their time expanding their horizons, expanding, why do we like literature and books and storytelling? I mean, I'll tell you why I do this. I love storytelling, but I always think it's great for my creative mind, but it also, I love to see all the different avenues that a character could choose to take. And then it's fun to watch other characters take different roads, because we go, ooh, wow, I wouldn't want to do that. That's not how I would handle that at all. Why or why not? And it kind of gets you more introspective sometimes, even though it's just fiction, right? But this kind of says that a character might be starting to read more, look for other, other routes to think about things, even other forms of maybe entertainment. Maybe this character is going to read more instead of watch more TV. They would just rather absorb information through a different lens or start a new area of study. But the big thing here is usually sensing what is hidden. And we have the Ace of Pentacles. What's beginning? The beginning, right? New life, literally a new chapter. And I already said, I'm picturing somebody floating on an inner tube of life, floating down the life, river. And it kind of looks like these little vines are kind of moving along the way a river would move. So kind of a nice imagery on all of this. But it feels like sensing and moving in directions. And if we sense that, I feel some resistance there, some pushback, okay, maybe I allow that to, and I go a different direction. Instead of saying I hit a roadblock, I'm going to pick up a sledgehammer and break through a wall. Instead, it's like, okay, well, maybe that, like a little Roomba who's, cleaning the house, that little vacuum cleaner thing, and it bumps into a wall and then it redirects and goes a different direction. It kind of feels like that's more the imagery here. Our character used to think that they had to smash through walls and everything was a fight. And now they're like, oh no, maybe it's that I'm going to go a different direction when I hit an obstacle. Okay, well, maybe that's not for me today. Maybe I should let it chase me since it seems to be rejecting me today. That's fine. Maybe, I'm not right for this, and I should allow my brilliant brain to go seek other avenues. It's just more like, hey, it's cool. You know what? We're vibing, we're flowing. Sometimes it's not going to work. That's okay. We can adjust and adapt. That feels like a really relaxed way to like move forward in life. That's pretty awesome. All right, next up, Eliana had suggested a message for the waning crescent moon, specifically, what is the waning crescent moon's advice as a character contemplates their inner journey? Great message, great idea there. Okay, so we have the sun. So we go from the moon and we shift to the sun. The moon's message for a character's inner journey is like, get really clear, right? Get really clear and choose the happiest path. If a character is talking to themselves about like, hey, I'm on this inner journey, what do I need to do? The response is choose the light, choose the direction that is clear, that will obviously bring about better reactions, interactions. Now that is Leo energy, so there's also a vibe of like taking action and leading. We have this Ace of Pentacles and we have the King of Cups. Because it's an inner journey, it says roll with the emotions, but own the emotions. The good, the bad, don't be afraid of them. Look at all emotions as things that yield information, right? If I'm getting keyed up about something, let's say I walk into a building, or no, let's do this. Let's make it a little bit more abstract since we're relying on some of the emotions. Let's say we receive an email from someone, and let's say it's about, a job inquiry, but we don't really know that much about it. Let's say it's somebody who contacts us and says, hey, somebody that's a mutual acquaintance has said that you're really talented at X, Y, or Z. You're a really good web designer. So I'd like to consult with you because I might want you to do my web design. And let's say the way they approach this could either be the world's greatest client and it's all legit, or this could be somebody who's just a looky-loo who's going to be a time waster, or this could be somebody that is like, I don't know you from Adam. I don't really know what's going on here, and I got a weird vibe and I so don't want to respond. There's the energy of like, okay, how do I make a decision about what to say here? And our character might need to go with a little bit of their, how do I feel about this? Do I feel excited? Do I feel instantly turned off by this? Do I feel like, I might need to do some checking into this? Let me first illuminate, why do I feel a certain way? Do I feel happy that somebody, referenced me in a good way? Or are there too many unknowns here? What is it that I'm feeling, and why am I feeling that way? Because now I know how to proceed. If I'm a little suspicious, like, what is this person legit? I don't know them. How'd they really get my number? Let me call up the mutual acquaintance. Let me ask them how they said that they gave you my number. I'm just vetting them before I respond. What should I know about this? Hey, you want to give me some feedback first? If a character feels suspicious, maybe they want to look into it first, but understanding why the first reaction is there, illuminating why do I feel this way, that allows a character to maybe make some decisions about how to proceed. And then it's like, yeah, I'm excited to see where things go. It says, how do we choose the happiest path on our inner journey? By illuminating why we feel the way we do, what do we want out of the situation, and then what actions to take and how to proceed. It feels like our character is doing things in a way that will cut out wasted time and wasted unnecessary emotions. If we're stressed about something, we can fret over it for 3 weeks, or we can just handle business. This says be direct, take the action, and then get back to like loving the results, you know? So it's all about direct, even though the moon represents what's hidden. And if our character is dealing with their inner journey, the inner journey can be really murky, right? Because we're going into the depths of where the shadows are and where the emotions are. But it says, yeah, but think of it like a fun thing where we're going to go in with a flashlight and shine light on stuff, because our goal is to find the gold, find the yeses, find the happy things that we can commit to. And then we can enjoy those emotions, and we can actually foster a lot more happy emotions. So it's not like going in and saying, okay, wow, I got to go do this deep dive and it's going to be miserable, and I got to do the dark night of the soul, and my inner journey is going to suck, and I've got to dig out every old trauma. It says, look at it with a happier perspective. Why do I feel the way I do? What do I want out of this? And then I can move forward. Kind of a nice way to keep things on the happy vibe. Actually, these are all really great messages. Everything's been super positive so far. All right, AJSRVIM said, let's do a story for the message of Christmas past, present, and future. So a little nod to the Christmas carol there. All right, let's take a look. What's the message from Christmas past? If there was a message about Christmas past, what would it be? Queen of Cups in the reverse. In the past, there were some disappointments. In the past, there were times, I didn't mean to cover her face. There were times when a character might have had a lot of unfulfilled emotions. This could be all the way back from childhood. This could be picking up on parental energy of like needs not being met. So past messages from Christmas could be there were unfulfilled emotional expectations. King of Swords, particularly if somebody was hungry for attention from this could be a father figure, this could be a partner, this could be just the awareness that wishing emotionally for fulfillment from somebody who's very different than themselves. This King of Swords is, as air energy, would be very cerebral, not very emotional. They also seem to be a dreamer. They could be fairly aloof. So that could have set up dynamics of, I want the thing that you don't have a capacity to give me. So either I have to accept what you do offer the way you offer it and understand that this is you offering to me as best you can, or am I always just going to be hungry for the thing that you can't provide, which means I need to go find that someplace else. So the message from Christmas past is more like looking at the differences between what was wanted versus what was received, and kind of even making peace with it is what I would say. All right, what is the message for Christmas present? What is the message for Christmas present? 7 of Wands. This is awesome because this is how we deal with struggles. And it's like, honestly, we get spiritually more fit, right? Here he is well-equipped, talented, and athletic, and he's able to take on a difficult task. He's hammering in those railroad spikes like it's nothing. This is somebody who's got full clarity on what their task is. They know what they're doing, and they know that they got the skills to do what needs to be done. That's actually really awesome that the message for Christmas present, we couple it with the Temperance. So this is like making small potatoes out of mountains. You know, it's really not a big deal. Our character has everything that they need to move through an obstacle right now with total grace. Things that it's nice to be that competent, right? You know, that's the big message here. Our character is very competent. Whatever needs to be accomplished, they can not only do it, but they can do it and make easy work of it. They can do it and still manage to like live a life, but also get their work done. They can deal with difficult situations and still laugh and be like, oh, it's not that big of a deal. That's a pretty like well-rounded character. All right. And then what is the message for Christmas future? 6 of Wands. This is nice. 6 of Wands is there's much greater success coming up by next Christmas, maybe. I don't know if a character, not saying they're necessarily striving for fame, fortune, and whatever else, but we definitely see somebody who's got, you know, success on the horizon. 7 of Swords. And to be aware that in Christmas future, I keep feeling like this is somebody who's going to make great strides in life, by the next coming year, by next Christmas. And they're going to have people watching from the shadows that are drooling and salivating. And I say that because we got an apex predator up here. Not saying this is dangerous, scary, right? A Seven of Swords is just somebody who's not being honest about what they're doing, which is, I want you, I'm hungry for you, but I'm going to hide in the shadows and not admit it. Well, as I always say with this card, they got good taste. They know who is a yummy treat. They know who is doing amazing. They can see who's doing fantastic. So I got to say, if our character is going to have a lot more success by next Christmas, it just may be a tip of the hat to the fact that there will be people that come out of the woodworks possibly that are watching that kind of success, watching that kind of glow up. And yeah, they might be hungry for our character. They might be hungry. So this character could be hearing from people long ago forgotten by next Christmas. That's that's kind of an interesting one. Could be a Libra, Gemini, Aquarius that is going to be rearing their head in by next Christmas just because of that Seven of Swords energy. And then the other one that had been suggested, and then I'll go through the chat and take a look and hit some of your guys' questions right now, is from Stevette Gibson. And it says, what to expect from New Year's celebration? That's a great one, Stevette. All right, let's take a look. I think, hang on, let me make myself some space as I decide the deck. I think this one. All right, New Year's celebration. Ooh, that was wild. Queen of Cups upright. Queen of Cups is, gosh, this is wonderful. I don't know if somebody's going to kiss somebody right at the New Year's, ball drop or what, but we've got either somebody staying at home and they are petting their little soulmate dog or cat, or in this case, seahorse or guinea pig or rabbit or whatever. But it's somebody who's having a lot of emotional, energy of wanting to nurture, wanting to give. Now, this could also talk about, this could be soulmate energy. This could be somebody laying on your lap and you're massaging their scalp, as the New Year celebration comes along, or this is setting the mindset and the tone for, I want to nurture and I want to give to the things in my life that I really want with me long term. And I say that simply because the seahorses do mate for life. So I could look at this as a lot of different things. We could talk about it as in terms of romance. We could talk about it in terms of setting our intentions, or we could talk about it setting our intentions for anything that we actually care about, and that's what we want to really give to. So it's a profound time. We have the Hermit. This is more of a mindset. Okay, so the New Year's celebration is more about putting into mindset, here's what I care about, here's what I'm envisioning, here's what I'm dedicating myself to from here on out. So it's more of an intention setting during the New Year's celebration. Now, keep in mind, the word celebration is what Steve added in. So we have to go with the concept that this is part of the joyful aspect of, let me think about, what do I want to do? This is going to be fun. I'm going to set aside a little bit of time. I'm going to sit someplace quiet, off by myself. That's what I see with this character, right? They're going to make time right around New Year's, maybe right before the New Year's energy rolls over, but they're going to sit with themselves and really do some deep thought about, what do I most want to nurture in my life? Is whatever it is that I love. It doesn't have to be even a person or a romance, but rather, what things do I want with me from here on out? Let me get real with myself about what I want. What's awesome about it is that as our character starts contemplating as part of their celebration what they do want, it kind of naturally pushes out any things that they don't want, right? If I'm thinking about the outfit that I want to wear, today I knew I was wearing my new necklace as a Christmas gift and I love it. And so this part I knew, which meant, okay, I already know what colors I'm not going to pair with this. So half of my closet's already crossed off. I'm not pairing it with, yellow or orange. I don't want those colors with this one. I wanted to go with browns or teals or greens today. So I've narrowed down my choices without even making it stressful. If I had to decide out of every color under the rainbow, what am I going to wear today? It might have been more difficult, but I already crossed off a whole section of the color palette. When we start to think about what we do want, it gets a lot easier, and we drop some of the stuff that we don't need to stress out about anymore because we're not asking for certain things because we've dedicated ourselves to what we are asking for. So it makes it really easy. It wraps up a hermit's journey really swiftly too. It's not, let me think about this and, put this into action for, the next 10 months. This is like kind of off the cuff, kind of like, hey, what do I most care about? Let me jot those things down in my mind. Now that I know that's what I'm asking for, all the other stuff just falls away. And this got real easy. I will say that with the judgment card, everything's getting simplified during this New Year's. Our character is simplifying what they care about, what problems no longer matter, what they still do want, even if there were problems before. And it's like, yeah, but those problems are small by comparison to what I would want. So it gets simple. Now I can say yes wholeheartedly to the things or the people or the connections that I still want in my life. And if I care about those people still, I'm going to make sure I reach out to them and bring them back into my life. Some of the problems don't matter. If I care more about this than I care about the problems, if the problems can be gotten over because they are small by comparison to what the value is of that connection, then by all means, I'm bringing those things back. It just got really simple. 4 cards. That's it. And it's that simple. I'm going after what I want. And that makes the pathway suddenly very simple. What do I care to nurture? What do I still care about in my life? And nothing in life is perfect, but figuring out what things are still worth it despite the imperfections. And let me go ahead and call those things back in. That's awesome. That's awesome. It's not about having to take the past back. It's just about calling in the things that a character would actually want still. All right, let me go ahead. I'm just going to bounce around and see if I've got some other messages in here that you guys, yes, AC, any topic. I just thought it'd be kind of fun to do this and truly make it collective. I know, Darren, isn't that awesome? Yes. All right, you guys. All right, so Stollywood, hot and cold connection. All right, let's take a look at that. That's a good topic. All right, so a hot and cold connection. Let's see, what's the message in regards to a hot and cold connection? We have got the moon. Okay, so we've got the mystery, but here's the thing. This kind of reminds us that a connection, we assume, has at least 2 entities in it, right? It could be more, but we'll start out with 2 because that's what we see here. So we assume that in this storyline, we have 2 individuals, both of whom have a sense of freedom and independence to them. Because wolves, they are very loyal. The alpha pair does mate for life, but they also are free creatures, right? That roam. They don't live at one zip code. Wolves howl to echolocate each other as well, and they are a pack group, pack animal. And so we see that maybe these 2 aren't that different. Maybe, in fact, with a hot and cold connection, each of them either plays that role toward each other once in a while, and perhaps both of them are actually undergoing a state of transformation. We see the 2 triangles inverted on top of each other with the butterfly over the top of that. So we can see that perhaps these 2 are a better match than what they would realize. So one's hot, one's cold, but then the other one thinks the other one's cold and hot. It could be shared. They actually, it's funny because they vibe in the same way. We have 3 perfectly matched quartz crystals on either side of the moon. Neither one of them understands each other quite that great. We have Messenger of Wands and we have the Lovers. Holy smokes. We keep going head to head, right? We have 2 individuals that both seem to want to choose each other. But the problem is maybe their love language is different, because this is about, the messengers are the pages. And this is about how do they express passion? How do they express the spark of interest? How do they do that? They may not be that good because one is the sun and one is the moon. Now we could say, well, that's perfect. They're a perfect complement. Sure. But they're also vastly different, yet they're also so similar because they're both powerful energies. So what do you do when you've got 2 powerful energies that are opposite but can become a complement to each other? We're going to expect the push-pull. It's going to be like, kind of like when you have a basketball team and you put together what you think is going to be the dream team, like the couple of the biggest stars, and you put them on the same team and they suck because you have 2 that play the same position with the same leadership mentality. And it's like, hang on. It's not that you can't have a perfectly coordinated team with 2 team leaders, but what do you do if both of them move the same way, have the same thought process, and they both think that they're playing the same exact, whatever point guard? they're going to bump into each other. They're going to be in the same spot at the same moment. But unless they figure out how to stay out of the way of each other's elbows, they could be a disaster, or they could be fantastic. But it's going to be hard for two amazing people to get it worked out as to, we're both trying to stand in the exact same spot at the same moment. And we're going to block each other from catching the ball and making the baskets and winning the game, unless we talk about how much we're alike. So that's actually really awesome. That is not at all what I expected from that one. That was awesome. Here we go. Amy Milliken, why does the 3D not match the 5D? That's a great question. All right, let's take a look. Why does the 3D not match the 5D? By the way, guys, if you do enjoy this format, we might do this a little more frequently. I think it's really fun. We have 8 of Swords here. Okay, so partly it's because there's a disconnect between like how thoughts versus like visual, right? So let's put it this way. If the 5D realm is the energetic realm that isn't so tangible. But we can think all these things, and then we expect to see those reflected exactly as we thought them up here, right? The problem is, like, what goggles are we using? Maybe what we dreamed of is exactly what we're seeing, but we can't see it the way it is. Okay, for example, let's say I'm imagining somebody is going to show me that they love me a great deal, and I'm picturing like this loving relationship, and it's awesome. But then I meet somebody in the 3D realm, and they show love by, let's say sending, cute text messages. But what I want is that person to make time to be beside me. So now I'm like, well, this person doesn't love me. How come I can never get somebody that is actually, present and is there for me when I need a shoulder? And it's like, but I did envision this loving relationship, but I forgot that they may not love me in the way that I was expecting them to, because they show love from a different format, and I didn't see it that way yet. So that's maybe one example of how what we see, we have a blockage in our mind of what it's supposed to look like, and it might not look that way. Or envisioning the perfect romantic partner or something, or let's say the perfect job. And let's say we want a great boss. We want to be paid really well, and we want to have something that's going to be a real, stable, but also allows us to feel like we're really progressing in life. But say we think we have to work for a Fortune 500 company. That's what we envision. And instead we could work at something that isn't a big flashy building, and yet it would have all the components that we wanted. And it's like, why can't I have the thing I know I'm supposed to have? This says, because maybe we don't see it and it's right in front of our eyes. We're stuck on the vision of how it's supposed to be instead of the reality of what it is. And I guess the reverse could be true too. 6 of Wands. And 6 of Wands is success, but it's also ego. And so it kind of says that when the 5D and the 3D don't match, and we're looking at blockages, this is either where the blockage is we think we're supposed to be so much more successful in that 5D realm. We can picture how everything is supposed to flow. And then we shortchange ourselves and say, well, I didn't achieve all those things. I must not be successful yet. Instead of saying, I'm a huge success. I'm a human being every single day, showing up, being part of planet Earth. This is amazing. I'm an amazing creature. Look at me. Look at what I'm already doing. We can also, though, have if we're talking about it with other people, sometimes what we expect someone to act like, we forget that they have their ego and their needs that need to be met, and their pettiness and their desire to be successful. And so what we picture someone is supposed to treat us like, it may not manifest the way we think it should, because we forgot that they too have their own dialogue and their 5D image of how it's supposed to be. So how do we reconcile what we all have up in our head, the fantasy world or the things we can conceive of, and then the application of it in the real world, and realize every person we meet has their own concept of that also. So our ego meets theirs, and we're only thinking of it from just our capacity, like what we know and how it should work for us, but they have their own snapshot of what they think it should be like and how they want to be loved and what they need to feel, successful in. We have the Eight of Pentacles and sideways. Talk about like saying the exact same thing all over again. If I guess the bottom line is everyone has their own concept of how life should go and what they're working on. And it's really hard to realize that that's just it. We each have our own like reality that we're trying to manifest and our ideas of what we need to work on to get the end result. That makes it really confusing unless two people can really talk about what's actually in their minds. And that means like their deep wish, like, what do you envision? What's your perfect relationship look like? What's your perfect job? What's your perfect persona look like? So I know what it is you're trying to manifest, because who we are in the 5D is not necessarily who we actually are in the 3D, but our ideas about our plans and what we want to become and how we want to live and what clothes we want to wear. And, kind of like if we were all imagining that we're still just 5-year-olds, if you ask a 5-year-old what they want to be, they'll spout off anything and they don't feel like anything's unattainable. I'm going to, whatever, be a superhero, and I'm going to be, have a bakery, and I'm going to live on Mars. And to them, that's like completely doable. But really, we're all still 5, especially when we talk about the 5D realm and what we can conceive of and what our ideas and our spiritual self wants to achieve could be very lofty. But we might, in the daytime be, working in careers that are nothing like that. But still, what we're trying to achieve is something very grand. But if we never tell each other what those things are, we could be really confused by like, I don't get it. You're supposed to be a part of what I'm manifesting, but I forgot you're trying to manifest too. And if we never talk about what we're each really secretly wanting, we don't know how to support each other on those goals either. So that's a really interesting concept. It's, to talk about what's in each other's heads, especially in relationships, but just as a whole, even like if we could talk to our bosses, like, okay, what is it that do you just want to make a ton of money, or do you want to build a legacy with people that stay with you? And, you want this to be a generational business. Like, who are you trying to hire? Are you just going to use me and chew me up? And it doesn't matter if I'm sticking around or not, because you're just trying to make a ton of money fast? Or are you an employer who's like looking for talent and I can develop with you? And, like, what are you seeking? So I know what your goal is for the business. I mean, oftentimes employers ask us those questions, like, what do you want? What are your plans? Because they're trying to establish, what are you trying to manifest for yourself? Are our goals aligned? Are you going to be a good fit for the company? But it's kind of, if people would be honest, maybe it would save everybody a lot of time if everybody could admit what they're trying to manifest without feeling like embarrassed, like, well, I really want to be the world's greatest tap dancer. That's what I really want. And I want to go on tour. Okay. Then are we going to be a good match? Because if you get the opportunity to go on tour, or you're always seeking fame, or you just want to tap every spare second you've got and relationship isn't your first thing, then maybe I should know that. So I don't know. I did not expect that one to go weaving all over the place, but those are the cards we got. So kind of an interesting one though, for sure. All right, here we go. Oh, Crystal Suzanne. Unconditional love. What is the message on unconditional love? Oh, thank you so much, Dwayne. You sweetheart. Unique to Freaks in the house. Thank you, Angel. Thank you so much. You're so generous. All right, so hang on. Let me jump on back here. Thank you, guys. Really good to see everybody. Barbara, you're cracking me up. All right, here we go. So let's take a look at the guidance on unconditional love. Let me see here. Six of Swords. There's a couple different things that I could say about this. We have the mummies, right? So we're going to first, anytime we're going to see mummies or sarcophagi, we're going to assume that this card says we got to move on specifically from the past. We got to be able to let the past go if we're going to be able to practice unconditional love. Let go of the things that hurt in particular, and accept that maybe that was the best somebody could do, or accept the fact that they were flawed, or accept the fact that they did hurt us, accept the fact that it is what it is, but our feelings are also what they were. And that is, we can't necessarily, if we keep reliving a hurt or a pain every time we look at somebody, it's going to be really hard perhaps to give the unconditional love. I'm not saying that just being like, oh, okay, this person caused me tremendous grief on purpose, but I need to just forgive them and move on and take them back into my life. This might be needing to say, despite what they did to me, and I'm not going to minimize that, pretend it didn't happen, I still loved them. I will always care about them and wish them the best, but I can move on from that experience, even though I can also still carry the love that I had in my heart. It's unconditional love here. It is about letting things be brought down and leveled and then rebuilt. It is about dropping all ego and saying, hey, maybe they were troubled. Maybe I was troubled. Maybe together we sucked. But despite it, I loved them anyway, and I wouldn't have changed that. That song, oh, I love that song, and I can never remember who sings it, but I would have loved you anyway. I do it all the same. Not a second I would change. Had I known my heart would break, I would have loved you anyway. It's a country song, female singer, and great voice, and it bugs me so much I can never keep her name in my head. We got the Ace of Discs, and we have the King of Swords. All of this talks about moving on from the past, literally dropping any kind of ego, dropping down any walls, being able to look at things with brand new, fresh eyes and rebuild from the ground up. If this is going to be a story about giving unconditional love to somebody and giving them a fresh start in life, giving the relationship a fresh start, it says there can kind of only be new beginnings if there's not going to be fear that prevents somebody from actually speaking truth. So it means we have to kind of give somebody that kind of opportunity to be honest and not feel like they're going to be judged heavily either. That's one way to look at unconditional love. If this is about giving second chances on something, it says then the past has to stay in the past. It has to be a brand new beginning, as if they've never met, and they have to begin with full, transparency and even giving someone respect and working backwards from there if they, don't deserve the respect. But I would look at this also as giving unconditional love with someone that we're not having a new beginning with, but rather letting go of the wrongs that were done in a situation and giving ourselves the chance to actually have a new beginning, giving ourselves that unconditional love to start over, not judging ourselves anymore, knowing that we did the best we could, or we're human and we messed up sometimes, but we can change our circumstances again, and we still have value, and we can change the way we do things. We're alive for a really long time. We get good long lifespans, longer than a lot of animals on this planet. We have plenty of time to reinvent ourselves and to have the unconditional love for ourselves that says, thank God we're alive so long. So when we make mistakes, we can grow from them and we can still start over and we can do it all over again and maybe do better on our next, trip around the sun. So we have at any point in time, I like the fact that this brings up unconditional love for the self also, and the clarity to know you don't know what you know until you figure it out. And then once you've got those answers, then, maybe you can apply those lessons differently. And if we love ourselves enough to give ourselves another chance and not, constantly carry the burden of shame and the mistakes I made and, oh, I hate myself for this and I should have known that and I should have done that better. This says, give ourselves the grace of unconditional love, and maybe we'll also have an easier time giving it to others if they've messed up. This does say to be straightforward, though. And maybe that's, once we learn lessons, one of the most important unconditional love lessons is I'm not a doormat. I'm very truthful. I can give a second chance, but I can also say, no matter how much second chance I'm giving, I'm going to be straightforward with myself. I'm going to be straightforward with the person that I'm giving a second chance to. It's not like I'm going to constantly listen for the lies, but I'm not going to lie for anyone, including myself. I'm going to be super straightforward because that's also an act of love. Like, I won't lie for you and I won't lie to you. We'll deal with stuff as it really is. And you don't have to be afraid of the truth, but we're going to stumble, we're going to fumble sometimes. But if there's still genuine caring there, it makes those embarrassing moments of life and those difficult days the things that we realize we're not going to be cast out of the kingdom for. So I don't know. Actually, I really liked I'm not sure I explained that very well, but I liked the message behind it. Particularly the one about giving oneself the same unconditional love as a starting point. I think that was my favorite part of that. All right, next up, let's see here. Tagline 22, new concepts to learn for 2025. Let's take a look. We've got 4 of Cups. New concept, 4 of Cups is about illusions. It can be about disappointment and it can be about boredom, but we have got the big old tree of life right there. So in this case, because the tree of life is going to keep growing no matter what, we have 10 of Cups. I know this maybe doesn't sound like exactly a new concept, but it might be for a character who feels as if they somehow wasted time before and they've been upset with themselves over that. This actually says there's no such thing as wasting time if we're enjoying life with the people that we love. So allowing ourselves to say, it's not going to be me missing opportunities if I am enjoying the company that I'm keeping. Maybe this is a person who was go, go, go all the time, feeling like I've got to grow and I've got to take classes and I've got to work extra hours and build my resume. And it's like, but honestly, spending time with the people that we love, not working the extra shifts so we can actually be at home at night with, our favorite auntie or uncle when they come to town that one time a year so we can spend time together as a family. Maybe that's a win also. That's the stuff. It's not a waste of time and we're not missing other opportunities as long as we're like enjoying the company that's around us. So kind of a little bit more a message of like work-life balance is possibly a new concept for a character. Also making it okay to seek genuine fulfillment and happiness in 2025. We have Knight of Wands upright. Another new concept could be about the excitement of chasing down adventure or dreams or things that a character is really intrigued by. This could also be not underestimating the joy of flirtation and fun, sexy exploration. Because we have the Hermit, we have the Strength card. This is like the juxtaposition of chasing the stuff that we're intrigued by versus sitting on a mountaintop and manifesting or I'll say contemplating, our belly button, doing that deep inner work versus rushing around and doing external exciting kinds of things. It says that both are forms of strength. And so in 2025, to not make it like, ooh, it's my hermit's journey. So I'm going to be by myself. I'm going to meditate, every single day. I'm going to disengage from everybody. We don't have to set it in our heads like that is what it says. Sometimes we might want to do that, but other times it's going to be this. I'm going to get more knowledge and more introspection or more, how do I want to say it? More value from allowing myself to maybe zip around and try different things and interact a ton. And both of those are forms of strength, inner strength. Both of those are like, there's a lot of, like I'll say power in being able to be an extrovert. And there's a lot of power in being able to be an introvert, mastering both, being busy and active, being quiet and calm. Both of those have their own value. And so being able to explore both halves of that instead of saying one or the other is preferred. Sometimes it's good to be gregarious and be a flirt and be a fast talking business person who can, get people excited about stuff and we can take on a lot of different tasks. Other times we go, oh, they're just like, they're such a salesperson. They're just all pizzazz. And it's like, yeah, but pizzazzy people are fun, it's awesome. Maybe we don't want that every day, all day, but that's a great talent to have. Likewise, we can say, oh, I love to be around people that are, sages, and they sit and they contemplate before they speak, and then they say these profound things. Yeah, that's awesome. But it can also be dull as hell sometimes. That's we need a little vim and vigor, and then we also need the internal balance. So the new concept in 2025 is that both of those qualities, or both of those lifestyles, or both of those kinds of people are equally as necessary. Just like in any ecosystem, you got to have, like, your strata of the food chain, right? If you're going to keep the right ratio of species in an ecosystem, you kind of got to have a predator that eats the other one, or you got to have symbiotic relationships. So it's just kind of nice to say it could be a year that's a mixed bag, and all of it is going to add value to a character's life. It's not about just doing all of one thing. But that first duo of cards, the idea that it's not a waste of time to be happy and spend time with simple things that we simply enjoy, I love that as the new concept. That's really nice. All right, let me scroll around. I'm just kind of just going all over the place. I'm not going in order or anything, but butterfly catnip queen. Thank you, Angel. You sweetheart. Thank you so much. Let me see here. We go to Black Moon Majesty. Thank you, Angel. You're so sweet. Let's see. So what is it within the shedding skin of the serpent releases in the year of the 9? Changes. Very nice. Okay, so let's go with that. Black Moon Majesty. Okay, so we all know that Year of the Serpent is coming up next, which, by the way, I've got a fun backdrop for that. So stay tuned for 2025 messages. But let's go ahead and take a look at the way you've phrased that. What about what is within the shedded skin the serpent releases? So that's a really intriguing way to ask this, because it's about basically what is being shed in 2025, and kind of like what's the purpose behind certain shedding. So let's go ahead and just start with the first aspect of that. Like, what is being shed in 2025? We have the 10 of Pentacles and the 9 of Pentacles. So one of the things that looks like it's being shed is the idea that everything is supposed to have this perfectly encapsulated, completion of this. I'm supposed to, be super successful monetarily, abundance. Everything is supposed to fall into place. Everything is supposed to fit together. I'm supposed to achieve like a particular status in life, and I'm supposed to have this perfectly balanced harmony within myself, and I'm supposed to be planetarily aligned, and I'm supposed to have this, profound sense of kind of almost like I would almost say what's being shed is the idea of perfection, and the idea that perfection comes with, or is manifested through, or is depicted through, what have I achieved? Where's my abundance? What does that look like? This is how it has to look. So shedding that concept that abundance or achievement or success looks like this or looks like that, because it's what society expects, or it's, what everybody else thinks success is supposed to look like. Then we have the Boy of Cups. The other thing that's being shed is the idea that we're always on this quest to try to find either love or try to find fulfillment. What if the joy is the quest, and we don't ever reach absolute, enlightenment or perfection of attainment? What if the entirety of it turns out to be enjoying every single day, enjoying what the journey is? Because let's put it this way. There are things in life where we go, oh man, if I could just achieve X amount of money every year, I would have so much more financial freedom. But then let's say we reach that point. Chances are we're going to start to spend relative to the amount of money that we have. So if we make a lot more money, we might buy way more expensive stuff and have way more overhead. Now we have a bigger house, which costs more in a mortgage, plus a fancier car, which costs more each month on a payment and the insurance. And, what if the more we get, we live at the same, we may have nicer stuff, but I'm just saying, like, monetary wise, we'll spend relative to how much more we make. Still improving quality of life, yes, but are our money stresses any different? Maybe not, because, like, yeah, but I still got to make this much to, actually maintain this lifestyle. So am I happier, or did I just gain more creature comforts, but with it comes all of the responsibility and the stresses of keeping and maintaining those creature comforts. So it's kind of like shedding the idea that a certain value, a certain dollar amount, or a certain strata is going to be where I really have everything worked out. Or if I could become a business owner, then everyone in town would respect me more. And it's like, well, no, some people will still just be hating on us just because they're like that. It doesn't necessarily mean we'll be better off to cope with, how people will treat us or anything like that. So I feel like instead of trying to reach a, like, when I get here, then it will all be perfect mentality, and thinking that it's just, I'm on this quest to get to that point, I think that's what's being shed in 2025. It's not about thinking that there's a destination where once I get that, everything will be okay. Ace of Swords. It's this clarity now that we're always going to be cutting certain things out of our life as we learn new information, and then that's going to change us. And now this is a different goal. And then we're going to cut this out of our life once it no longer serves us, and we're going to move toward this slightly different goal. It's actually the purpose of maybe figuring things out a little differently, especially in 2025, and shedding that concept, because I think we're talking about a character who's already reached a pretty awesome place of status in their life. And what they learned is, well, yeah, this is great, but I'm still hungry for more. I'm too intelligent just to reach my goals and then just sit around all day and be like, huh, okay, there's no more challenge. There's no more excitement. You mean now that I've reached this dollar value, or now that I've accomplished these things, and I'm supposed to have like all my perfected happiness, but I'm not perfectly happy. I actually still want more. And it's not to be greedy. It's more like, but I have this brain, this intellect. I'm always still going to be hungry for more knowledge and more ideas, and I'm still going to need to create, and I'm still going to need to have goals, because that's what humans are. We don't just reach a place and we're like, okay, well, this house is perfect. I'll never need anything else. And I've got all the money I would need. If we won the lottery and never had to do anything else, we would not just sit in a chair and be like, okay, I guess this is perfect contentment. We would still be wanting to do more, wanting to explore more. And we have that Girl of Swords, this is the exploration card. This is the Page of Swords in any other deck. So this is our learning. We're always still going to seek information as human beings, because we've got these big old brains that are such a gift and a burden. But in this case, it's like warmly welcoming this. So that's kind of the thing to shed. That's part of the old skin that's being shed. It doesn't matter how successful we are. We don't have to stop there, because success is really in like enjoying being what a human is, which is this talented intellectual who will always be curious to find more information and learn new things. That's never going to stop. So there really isn't a point of success and stasis that we're supposed to get to. There isn't a number or a dollar amount that's going to be that now I'm perfect, because it's more about the adventure, and it's about changing and, trying new things out. That's going to free our characters so much from thinking that they have to be this or that or have this much money in order to be a success. They're going to realize that my success is in like what my life is made up of. The story of my life is my success. That's a really awesome one. That was really fun. Thank you so much. That was a great suggestion. Oh, Sarah, welcome, honey. Good to see everybody. Yes, Black Moon Majesty. It's so right. Let me scroll around some more. I'm just seeing if you guys have topics that you want a story on. Angelina Davina. All right, so twin flames, artists in different countries with an age gap. That might be too specific. Well, let's just see what we've got for the topic of we'll say profound, profoundly bonded characters in different lifestyles. What's the message on that? We have Inspiration of Wands in the reverse, which would be the Page of Wands in any other deck. This actually says that the spark is, right now, the spark is not the, how do I say this? It's not that the spark isn't there for the connection, but it says that the spark could be being used elsewhere. So it's interesting that, you would put it in the context of artists, because artists have an ebb and flow of energy, right? I consider myself a more artistic person as a whole. And sometimes I got nothing, man. I got nothing. There are times when I'm like, yep, can't do a story at all right now. My brain can't even think of words. Just like as a writer, I get writer's block. Just like as any kind of artistic endeavor, sometimes you're just like so pumped and you're so thrilled to do something, and then you can run out of steam, and you got to be able to like replenish the well. So this actually says that there's a spark right now that is being either used elsewhere, or the spark of creativity needs to be like rejuvenated. But in this case, the message says that the spark to invest right now in like a connection might be being used elsewhere, right? We only have so much gas in our gas tank. We only have so many hours of daylight in a day. How much can we possibly do all at one time? And particularly if an artist, let's put it this way, when an artist gets really on a hot streak, let's say a painter, and they are like just going to start painting because they got this great idea and they have to see it get onto the canvas, and it takes them, close to 2 days to do it. They're not thinking about stopping and calling a loved one, or stopping and having a snack, or stopping and sleeping sometimes, because they've got to get this onto their canvas. Everything else could fall by the wayside because of that artistic spark that's being used elsewhere. So it's more like a diversion of where the energy is being placed. Because in this, we've got the King of Cups in the reverse. So it keeps looking like at this point in time, all of the energy is being spent somewhere else, even if there's still like a hunger for this, because this is the latched on energy, but also the holding back energy. And this is like, I'm not putting my fire in here right now because I'm using it someplace else. I'm using it for my creativity. And that's every bit as important. The energy of like needing to get certain other tasks completed, that has to, I don't even know if our characters could prevent themselves from operating the way they are. Queen of Pentacles, to me, this almost looks like this is characters that are needing to build their empires, their finances, their stability. And so matters of the heart are coming in secondary, because they're on a hot streak right now of being able to start really building some kind of stability. And that's like the personal stability, even the personal, like name for oneself in life. But that's important too. To have two people that come across as whole and confident and complete in themselves. So then when they do match each other, they're eyeball to eyeball at the same plateau of confidence. That's really important. And right now it says this is an individual's journey, not a journey for a union at the moment for these characters. It's not that they have to get their own stability built first. Seven of Swords in the reverse. And I think that they both know it. It's like, it doesn't matter how much there is a desire for something else. That's not where we're going to divert energies right now, because the energy has to be diverted to the self, to one's own stability first. And that's like just kind of a known truth. I think both of them would operate the same way. Both of them have a deep inner knowledge. I think that is what's necessary. Five of Pentacles. There's this need to create stability, because at the end of the day, both of these characters share something. They're actually both on the exact same journey, is what it says. The journey to like dispel any sense of like lack or hunger within themselves. They both are actually really well matched because they're moving in the same, like, I'll say, if we're all in our own little rowboats on the ocean, but the ocean is huge, right? Not all of us are going to be rowing side by side, but these two happen to be. But again, they're not in the same boat. They're in their own little boats, but they actually are moving in the same like realm. They both have the same thing to learn. They both have the same hunger. I want to get this grounded, solid energy. I got to do that. I got to create balance for myself. And I know you're doing the same. And I know that we both have the same hunger. And we both kind of have to pursue what we need to, because this is our personal hunger. We got to do that, satiate that before then there could be any kind of, let's hop into the same little rowboat. They both have an independence and their own creativity that has to be expressed, and their own hunger that they came into this world with to express themselves and create what they need to for themselves. But what's awesome about this is that they're the same kind of people. Like I said, they're in the same spot in the ocean. They're side by side rowing their rowboats, but they are each in their own rowboat right now. They got to accomplish what they need to for themselves. And that's actually kind of like, now it's kind of cool because it's like, we're kind of maybe birds of a feather. We both kind of got our own thing that we got to do. That makes a lot more sense, even why we'd be drawn toward, what's similar in us. But also, it's kind of like respect. I can give that person respect because I'm actually doing the same thing. I don't know. I kind of dig that perspective on that one. All right, let's see. Let me scroll around a little bit. See here. Sorry, guys, I'm just reading through. Godzilla MC, dealing with avoidant unrequited love. That's a great topic. Okay, and hang on, I gotta take a look because my phone's been blowing up and I gotta make sure it's not something I should be responding to at the moment. No, all is good. It's feedback on my from my sister on my ugly Christmas cookies. She's so nice. She's like, I don't think they look bad. Sisters are great. My sister's very talented. Very talented. She can work circles around me in absolutely anything, especially like something visually artistic. She is so good. And I am the pig sister. I'm the little piglet, but she's so encouraging. It's so cute because I'm like, oh, Leanne, epic fail. Check out what I did wrong. And she's so sweet. All right, here we go. So unrequited love, difficult or avoidant. What's the message on that concept? We have got the 5 of Wands. Okay, there's a lot to consider with that. There's a lot that can, this is like where we get stuck in our head and overanalyze things. That could be why somebody is being avoidant, because they get on like the Ferris wheel of thoughts, but it's like the Ferris wheel never stops. Like, think of how bad that would be to be on a Ferris wheel and you're going round and round and round. And you're like, okay, it was fun for the first 10 minutes, but it's been 3.5 hours. Is the operator ever going to stop the Ferris wheel and let me out of my basket? Nope. And we can't get off until the basket stops moving. So going round and round and round. 4 of Pentacles. 4 of Pentacles is holding on and holding back. And this feels like we've got someone who either doesn't know how to like close chapters, doesn't know how to stop holding to something. Now let's put it in the reverse. Let's say, because this can be, if one character were dealing with somebody who seems to be avoidant and they don't seem to be reciprocating much, it's either because they might be the ones who can't seem to like close chapters and then just be available to build something new with. Or we could look at it from the reverse perspective and say, okay, why is a character holding on to that individual that is avoidant? Are they going and overanalyzing, like, why doesn't this person, why can't they reciprocate? Why can't they? And this kind of says then, from that perspective, our character that is still holding on to the idea of someone that is not satisfying their needs, maybe it's because there's like a overly like, I think this is the issue for like empaths, being able to be so understanding and want to understand and want to feel like, why would somebody act that way? Let me understand it. Let me put myself in their shoes to the point where I can better comprehend. And now I'm going to be so like, I'm going to think about their life's choices and their life's energy so much that I give them so much of me, but now I'm actually stuck in their vortex, because it's almost like my energies have merged into theirs, and I don't quite understand them, but I'm trying to give them so much leeway that I'm now accidentally clinging to them. I would say I've been that person before, so I can totally understand that, the overly like understanding to the point where it's like, oh wow, wait a minute. If someone's not offering me much, what am I doing trying to cling or hold on to them? And it's like, oh wow, it's like I've been clinging to the side of a rock wall, thinking I'm holding up the rock wall. No, I'm the one geckoed on, right? But it took me a while to figure that out. They didn't need me to give them all this consideration and thought. so am I holding up the mountains or the rock wall? No, I'm not. That's a little silly of me. So I could look at it that way as well. And I have to say, in this storyline, I think that's a stronger message. Please remember, these are fictional stories, guys. I'm not telling you how to live or what's true. I am not a psychic. I am a storyteller. But I do look for the thought-provoking message. And this, to me, resonates more with what I've just said. If somebody is dealing with an avoidant person, or it's an unrequited love, how best to like understand? Well, in this case, it says not to try to understand why they are not giving the energy, or understand why are they stuck, but rather to say, okay, wait a second, am I, here she is contemplating, am I the one who should actually say, wait a second, I have a ton to give, and I want to give to somebody, but maybe I should give to somebody a couple rungs up higher where they're ready to reciprocate. Maybe I am needing to move up in who I give to. Maybe this is a blessing that the person I want to give to is not going to take from me. They're not going to receive from me. They don't want to receive from me. They're not in that, we're not really on level, but they know that. And so I'm supposed to move on and meet the next person, on my journey. And I kind of think that that's the message on this one, is if our character is discovering that they are stuck on someone who's not reciprocating love, and their thoughts previously had been like, why isn't this person changing things? Why aren't they coming to me? Are they stuck in some other connection? It begs our lead character to go back and ask themselves, wait a second, or am I stuck? Wait a minute, is this my cue that I'm supposed to give to someone? Because I have a lot more to give. This would be like, let's put it this way. If we really want to work for a company, but the company is like, yeah, we'll only ever pay this person minimum wage. They are way overqualified. They have, all these talents. Our company, we're not even trying to build it and grow it. We're a little teeny tiny, we just need somebody to work 3 hours every Sunday afternoon. We're not franchising. We're not building. We're not an empire. We're a little teeny tiny simple thing. And that's what we're going to be. So we're not going to hire this one person to work for our company, because they could work for a Fortune 500 company. We don't have a place that needs their talent. And so they don't hire this, in this case, as Queen of Pentacles. And the Queen of Pentacles is like, why wouldn't they hire me? What on earth is making them not hire me? I don't understand. Do they not see that I would, I have a lot to offer? I could take their business, all these places. Yeah, this company is a little mom and pop shop. They don't want to be a Fortune 500. They like exactly what they've got. They like exactly the amount of money. They don't want to even make any more money than that. They're just right. They're not looking to hire the person who can take their business to new heights. And that's what our amazing Queen of Pentacles is like, oh, wait a minute. they're operating exactly the way they want. Yeah, I could make their business blow up, but they don't want to. Okay, let me go ahead and go find a Fortune 500 because that's what I'm looking for. That's where my talents are. So it kind of changes the perspective quite a bit. It's nice to get the completely different viewpoint from this about turning the question on to the individual and them realizing, oh, I actually have way more to look forward to up in my future, and my future is not with the avoidant or the unavailable situation. So I don't know. I kind of like that. Let me scroll around again. Amy Milliken. Okay, a pattern of choosing toxicity over love. All right, let's take a look at that conversation piece. Here we go. Okay, let's see. Godzilla MC, you're cracking me up. Um, Aries is fast asleep. I don't imagine he will be much longer. It's about the hour of Aries. All right, so here we go. The topic of choosing toxicity over love. What is the big message in regards to that? We've got the Six of Wands and we've got the World card. I'll just say the first thing that came to my mind is the way in which somebody feels like they have to get the award before they can have, their next chapter. This could be like somebody who craves the good boy, good girl, pat on the head. That's what they need. So they want to do the thing that's going to make somebody happy with them, make somebody like them, make the family approve of them. That's how they feel successful. And they think once they get all of that, then they can move forward. So if there's always the craving, because the Six of Wands can be ego, it can be success and somebody who's being very successful and opening new chapters, or it can be the illusion of that because it's the ego talking. Like once I get all the good boy, good girl pats, once I appease the people that want me to make them happy, if I'm addicted to the making certain people happy, I need the approval. I'm always going to say, well, once I get the approval, that must be that I did good. And that's, once I have enough of the gold stars by my name, all the little stickers that somebody's going to give me, then I can go ahead and I can do things on my own. But the problem is they'll always move the goalpost and this person's going to need the approval all the time still of, like the wrong kind of approval, the wrong kind of attention. I need you to tell me I did good because then, okay, that feels good inside. So at some point then I'll be able to do my own thing. No, probably not, because they're going to find another avenue of let me feel successful, even if it's synthetic. I need the other kind of like, this makes me feel better when I appease somebody, whoever that is. I've got to please somebody. It's tough because it might be somebody who thinks that keeping the peace is the way to get the approval, like making somebody happy. So they may seek out people that won't be happy unless you do exactly what they want. And so then they get that feedback that they need. Like, I need to make you smile. You don't smile very much. You demand I do all these things. And if I don't do one of them just perfect for you, you get mad at me. So that means I have to do so much for you. And then I get the feedback that I need, which is you smile at me, you tell me good boy, good girl. So now, and that's how I keep things balanced. See, you have a need and I supply it. And then you tell me good boy, good girl. Awesome. That's what I need. So I have to keep choosing that, not realizing that that's a cycle and that there's never going to be enough of those good boy, good girl moments to have this person genuinely feel confident without the ego stoke. So they kind of, I think, get stuck in I always have to find somebody that I got to keep the peace with. That's what this looks like. I don't know. That's a tough message for sure. We've got a King of Wands upright. This is like our character has a really warm heart, really loving energy. They want to be successful. They want to make people happy. All of those are beautiful emotions, but if they only exist to keep the peace all the time, Are they leading? They think that they are, though. Hang on. Give me one more on that. We have got the Ace of Swords upright, but then the Page of Wands in the reverse. It's almost like until they see it this way, until they realize it themselves, because this is a clarity, and then they can change the way they're doing things. I think they believe that they're a King of Wands, but they're operating like a Page of Wands in the reverse, no less. A Page of Wands is, these are the children of the deck. So we don't expect kids to have full comprehension of anything. But a child of the deck, and then put it in the reverse, this is somebody who doesn't really have like that spark of, but do I like this? Do I even want to be doing this? I mean, I thought I was doing a good thing. This is somebody who has good intentions. Like, they have warmth, they have love in their heart. They want to be a protector, they want to be a giver, they want to do all of this. But I think the wool has been pulled over this character's eyes, is what it says, that they forgot to ask, do I even like what I am doing? Because they're supposed to be happy too. And this is somebody who hasn't asked themselves that question. Is this good for me? If they do ask themselves that, that's where they might be like, whoa, no, this is super toxic. I've been totally making sure that I made other people happy. I've been finding people that are dissatisfied, finding people that set up an emotional obstacle course, demanding I do certain things for them. I provide those certain things for them. Maybe they find people that they always have problems that somebody else has to fix for them. And then it's like, oh my God, you're my hero. Oh, thank you so much. Okay, guess what? I'm on a bind again. I need you to fix it for me. And then they go, oh, see, they need me to fix it. Oh, thank you so much. See, I did good. They told me, thank you so much. So maybe this is like a king who kept finding himself with just complete, like energy vampires or people that play games with them. And they didn't realize that's what was going on. Because this says they didn't ask themselves, why would this be a good thing for me? Why do I really enjoy doing the things that somebody demands of me, wants me to do, just so that I can keep them happy? If I don't actually like this, or the second I don't do what they want me to, they get unhappy. Well, that doesn't feel good. I don't like this at all. So wait, why am I in this? It almost feels like they've got to have that realization. They got to ask themselves, is this making me happy, before they can cut that out? It's kind of that's a tough story, because it's like, like sugar-coated poison. It's like, well, but this feels really good, and I'm being told that I did good. So wait, how is that toxic? I was told that I did the right thing. I made somebody happy. I did what they needed of me, and I did it for love. So wait a second. I did something good for the right reason for somebody who needed it. Why is that toxic? I don't get it. How could that be toxic? That's why it's hard for this character to break away from that. But they forgot that when they fall into a pattern where someone is manipulating them, and they missed the critical component. Do I like this? That's the part that they didn't know they could ask for themselves. So I guess we could say it's maybe someone who hasn't figured out boundaries yet, maybe is what the message is. Please remember, these are fictional stories. I'm not saying that's how it is. It's just that's what we got in these cards for this particular character. So contemplate it, dismiss it, say that's BS, doesn't matter. Keep in mind, this is just for fun and entertainment. Aries is awake, as I knew he would be. Guys, I'm probably going to have to go in just a minute because of my baby. You know that he's awake. Crystal Pixie, thank you, Angel. Thank you so much. Sorry, Crystal Pixley. Forgive me for saying your name wrong. Crystal, that's awesome. You got an Aussie too. Then you know they rule us, don't they? All right, I'm going to get one last topic here. Tammy Secord, when does true love choose the Empress? I love that. All right, let's take a quick peek. All right, and then I'm going to bounce on out because I know the baby's going to need to go outdoors. But here we go. That's really nice. The Bayou. Thank you, Angel. Thank you so much. All right, here we go. When does true love choose the Empress? We have the Chariot. Okay, so sorry to be really blunt on this, but it says it's when the Empress moves forward. It's when the Empress puts all of her loyalty into like what she really wants. Um, and I say that simply because this is an Empress who's obviously been recuperating from something. She's in a wheelchair at this moment on the chair, so we can say she's, you know, hurt her knee, but she's getting better and she's going to be able to walk again pretty soon. We can see that she's like really excited, loving her life, or that she's found another way. Maybe she can't walk, but she's learned how to be mobile anyway. This is when the Empress finds her way forward, regardless of what obstacles she's had. And when she stays super loyal to what she authentically wants for her life, it looks like that's when things start to turn around for her. So we have the Hierophant in the reverse. It's also when she kind of sheds a belief system that maybe wasn't even right for her. Maybe when she lets go of something that is not completely on her path after all. Almost like maybe an Empress for a period of time thought, you know, to be an Empress, of course I'm a nurturer, of course I'm a creator, of course I am somebody that builds, but maybe there was a lot of stringent expectation that she'd placed like upon herself to do things in certain ways. And now it's like, wait a second, an Empress gets to rewrite her own playbook. So kind of allowing her truest self to be the thing that guides her own path in life, not anybody else's playbook, which I think is a really great message. Okay, but let me go back to the original question, because what we've seen is like, the question is, when does true love find the Empress? And it's so much about her just moving forward in whatever is the truest form for herself. But let me just ask about the true love aspect. We've got an Eight of Pentacles. It is sideways. So there is still this energy of shared energy of when she's working on something that she wants just for her, only for her, that's really about her. Something that is a truest reflection. So Empresses, because they tend to have a lot of responsibilities because they run empires, and they're happy doing that. But let's picture it this way. If we ran an entire empire, we might be in meetings all day long and we love it. We love, you know, the fact that my empire is flourishing. I have to consult with my royal vizier, and I have to, you know, like consider where we're planting, you know, this, and I have to meter out some, you know, justice in the Justice Department, all these things that have to happen in my empire to keep it running smoothly for my subjects. But what if in all of these busy things that the Empress admittedly loves, but it keeps the empire running, what if she forgets that, oh, but I used to love to take music lessons. I used to love to sing. Maybe she needs to let herself do that simple little thing for herself also. I need to get back to some of the things I love to do. I need to take a trip somewhere. I need to take a drive somewhere. I used to love to just go meandering and whatever, do bird watching. It kind of says when she works on the things that she really wants to do just for her, it's important to her own personal development. That might be where she meets true love, and they'll be doing the exact same thing. She meets somebody while she's out bird watching because it's part of her own personal enjoyment and development. And she wants to get back to, you know, bird watching because she wants to create a book of birds, you know, whatever it is, her personal hobby for her personal interest, for her very personal, you know, like foundation of what she loves. That's when she meets a true love. We have a Nine of Pentacles. It's whomever this true love is it's somebody who's as independent as she is, somebody who's working on their personal value, as well as, you know, like building the life and maintaining the life that they want, but not forgetting about themselves in the process. That is when true love meets her, but it almost seems like it's a little bit by chance. It's through maybe a shared activity or a shared enjoyment is what it looks like. I've got the Seven of Wands. It's actually even like meeting a true love match that can collaborate on a shared like hey, how do we fix this? I've got some skills, you've got some skills. This all feels collaborative to me. It feels like intelligent individuals with skill sets that would love a chance to like work together even on an obstacle in order to find a solution, which I think is really cute. Hers could be more work related, or like I said, well, both of these cards look like work, but it doesn't have to be work we get paid for. Let's just say it's a talent, a hobby, is something like that. We call anything that we enjoy doing like, oh, I'm working on my, whatever artistic project. So she meets somebody in the paint store or something who's there also buying paint for their artistic project, and the two of them get talking. Or as sculpting, I met a friend one time because I was trying to sculpt trees basically for a gingerbread house, and I had to figure out how I was going to make weeping willows. And the end result, after talking to people at the grocery store about this, is that somebody actually came over to my house and started making them with me. So a stranger became a friend, all because of this crazy gingerbread house extravaganza that I was doing to make weeping willows, which we ended up going with spaghetti, by the way, that was half cooked and then dried and bonded together and the whole 9 yards. But all this to say, sometimes we work on things, and as we work on things that we care about, we encounter other people that either have a shared interest, shared hobby, and then from that, it's a chance to like merge energies. It's a chance to meet somebody of equal interest and like shared caring for the same result. But it feels like that's how our character ends up coming across true love. It's not when she's out looking for true love, it's when she's doing the things that are just of interest for our character, for example. That was kind of different. I like the idea that it's when our character is doing the thing that is just for them, just right for them, that they meet somebody who's kind of on that same path, and they have a shared interest in like doing. It's not like sitting around. It's doing. It's acting together. All right, you guys, really nice to see everybody. Bye. Thank you again. Black Butterfly 25. Thank you. Merry Christmas, everybody. I have to go because the baby has awakened, as you heard, and he is fluffing around, and it'll only be a minute before he comes up and starts whimpering and pawing at me because he's rolling around right now like a little, he does his little like dance in the background. I can hear him. And so I'm going to disappear so I can attend to the baby. But thank you guys so much. If you do enjoy this style, maybe we'll add this in once in a while. I just thought it would be fun and like a truly collective experience. So I thought, for Christmas, it's just kind of different. I didn't want to do zodiacs today. I want to do something totally random, totally different. I will see you guys a little bit later on Tarot Dog for a love story. We'll see what the check-in is for love. Tarot Dog is my other channel. And so I will see you guys over there when I get back from tending to the baby. All right, you guys, lots of love. Thank you, everybody, for being here. Bye for right now.